I'm Issa, and I hate beauty pageants. But in this episode, we're gonna be training to be in one. As a woman who lives in a country that absolutely loves beauty pageants, I've always secretly disliked beauty pageants. And let me tell you why. The height requirement. Growing up, I always felt that in order to be beautiful, you had to be tall. And if you weren't tall, you were cute. This is what cute meant. I'm 4'11", so I was always just the cute girl. I feel like beauty pageants create this impossible standards of beauty. I don't understand and I don't agree with some of the standards that beauty pageants impose upon women. Such as, you cannot be married or have had an annulment, you cannot have children or have gotten pregnant, you cannot have these existing illnesses, and they also have a pretty strict decency policy. The things that hold us back from joining competitions like this, I think, are the things that make us more of a woman. And lastly, I find the whole concept of ranking people to who I think is the most beautiful quite subjective. I don't believe that things like these are quantifiable. And you may argue that beauty pageants are about overall beauty, but having said that, why is beauty of the face or your physical beauty still the highest denominator when it comes to judging? And that's just kind of the tip of the iceberg. So I decided to make this video in hopes of answering the following questions. What does it take to be a beauty queen? Can a 4'11" girl like me hone the same skills that a girl at 5'7" can? Why do women join beauty pageants? Is it objectifying or is it empowering? Why are there these impossible requirements? And lastly, who sets these standards of beauty and how come nobody is challenging them? Am I ready for this? Well, there's really only one way to find out.
Beauty pageants historically started as early as the mythic times, going all the way back to Paris of Troy, when he had to choose which of 3 beauties he thought was the most ideal. Other historians say that beauty pageants started as a way for kings to find women to bear them a son in the occasions that their queens could not. In more modern times, it was a way to boost tourism. And here in the Philippines, beauty pageants have been a huge part of our culture, with pageants celebrated in barrios, barangays, far and wide. So I decided to interview a queen who has a rich history in pageantry, with over 4 decades of pageant queens in their family, Rain Baljak. Interestingly enough, Rain was Miss Cebu 2016 and is still the reigning queen till this day, after the city-initiated competition was abolished 6 months after she won her title. I wanted to note that Rain was a beauty queen that resonated with me. Aside from the fact that she widely talks about her advocacies, whether it be farming, sea life conservation, or her business, Babe Boob's Beauty and Fitness Consultancy, where she encourages health and fitness to young children, she is also one of the most down-to-earth people I have ever met. She rides public transportation, drives her own motorcycle, and isn't apologetic about who she is. So I asked her to give me a crash course on beauty pageants, and luckily, she agreed.
I know that the whole process of learning how to be a beauty queen is quite hard. Are you ready to teach me how to be a beauty queen? Okay.
Are you ready? Woo! The first thing that I will do, when you are seated on a chair, it is preferred that it is a hard chair, for the reason that you can feel where is your center of balance. You always want to make sure that you sit half of the chair or 3/4 of the chair. It's easy for you to press your feet into the ground and kick the floor in order to stand. Put your shoulders back so the chest can come out and then the stomach will come in. The weight you will feel is like here on your mid-back. That's where all the weight will drop towards. And then make eye contact. It's nice.
This is hard.
It's not easy. You really feel your ab engagement. So when you're from this position, what you want to do, if your feet are crossed like this, then you bring it from side to side. Then you drop your feet and you press from the midfoot and you push. So let's say you're standing and then this is where the camera is. You want to make sure that your feet, you're not just straight at the camera because it'll bring out like your hips. So the foot that's on the back will face 45 degrees out. And the foot in the front will face towards the camera or the people that you're talking to. Pop the hip out. Where your stomach is, that's where you will, we call it clipping your hand. You smile and wave.
Why do we have to wave like this? Like, why can't I wave like, hi?
Because
That's how I wave, like, hi.
I like to wave like that too.
Yeah.
Sometimes like that.
Yeah.
But then, what I notice is that you want to reserve that excited energy because the whole day you're in high heels. That's so tiring to do the whole day.
I'm tired already. Am I doing it right? Just like that. Hello. How's question and answer questions for you?
My problem is to stop talking. Because that is my problem, I have to differentiate now what is the important thing to say. How do I make all of my ideas impactful?
That's not just like for a beauty queen. That's like a life lesson.
So Rain and I spent the entire morning teaching me how to be a beauty queen. And for the most part, the things that I learned were practical life lessons that could be applied in many facets of my life. Learning a lot of the skills was definitely not easy.
I was Miss Cebu Tourism 1992. I was 18, a student from UP.
Did you really intend to join?
Never. I was a newbie. I never joined any pageant at all. But the question really is, how come I joined a pageant when I felt that I wasn't, molded to become one? But our dean in UP asked me to join. That was my first and my last.
How come you never joined again?
I felt that I wasn't tall enough. And for me, height mattered a lot. And I was happy having won the title, and I moved on with my life.
How come married or annulled or women who have had kids not allowed to join beauty pageant?
I am completely clueless about. On the contrary, we're talking of independent survivors. They are empowered women of substance.
I wanted to know, like, if you knew why there is a height requirement for beauty pageant.
I think because the counterparts of other countries are really, as fit as women.
That was pretty good. Thanks, Tita.
So I'm done interviewing my aunt and I'm done interviewing Rain. And I was already editing this video when I realized that I never really got my answers to the biggest questions that I have, that are, who sets the standards for beauty? Why is there a height requirement? And lastly, why are married women or women who have had kids not allowed to join a beauty pageant? So I decided to reach out to Urgello, who is also a beauty queen herself. Surprisingly, she said yes, and I hope that talking to her will sort of put the pieces together for me so that I can finally come up with a conclusion about it. So yeah, let's see what she has to say. Hi, B!
Hi, Isa.
Thank you kaayo nga nagpa-interview ka.
I'm a pageant fan and a pageant girl, and I've judged a lot of pageants already.
Oh, cool. Why is there a height requirement for beauty pageants to join?
I think there's really no specific or correct answer for that. I think it's still based on the old ways. Height is might, they say.
How come married women or women who have had kids, how come they're not allowed to join beauty pageants?
Well, it's a Miss pageant, so it's for single girls. There are also Mrs. pageants for women who are married or have kids. For a Miss pageant, it's more advisable if you're single, so you can commit to your duties and responsibilities.
Does it count, like, let's say if nabuntis ka before na, let's say nakuhaan ka and they find out, does that disqualify you from joining?
That would depend on the organization, Isa, or the pageant rules.
Yeah.
Because now, Binibining Cebu, they accept single moms.
Oh, wow.
Pageants nowadays are slowly becoming more open, and like Miss Universe, they now allow trans women, and they've increased the age limit from 25 to now it goes up to 28.
Would you know how judges choose the contestants, especially when it comes to like how a queen should look?
With regards to that, each judge has different tastes and different standards of beauty. For myself, I go for totality.
Actually, na-enlighten yun ko.
Oh, that's good. It's not just all about the glam. There's also heart in it.
Given all the things that she said, I think I am able to come up with a better conclusion. I think it really gives me a lot to think about, and I honestly dislike pageants a little bit less. Finally got the answers that I wanted. Good night. I just finished training like a beauty queen, talking to different beauty queens, asking them my questions, and I finally got the answers that I was looking for. To put it simply, beauty pageants are a tradition, and they've been in our history for many, many, many years. And while the origin and the reasons why we have some of them may not be favorable to some women, we still can't deny how much power it gives us women. And let's be honest, a beauty pageant is first and foremost a show. And if us Filipinos are so engrossed by it, then that must mean that they're actually doing something right. I did the research, and beauty pageants are actually a pretty big industry. They make up to millions of pesos or dollars or whatever currency it is. But aside from these huge conglomerates who benefit from them, a lot of designers, makeup artists, stylists, artists benefit them as well. And these are people who have dedicated their lives to making women feel beautiful, more empowered, seeing their full potential. And how can I honestly hate an industry that supports and recognizes people like this? I may not agree with the business side of things, or how beauty pageants can often be sexist or objectifying. Urgello actually shared something with me about the swimsuit competition that actually was very impactful to me, and I wanted to share it with you guys.
The swimsuit competition is only a part of it, and it's supposed to test how confident or how comfortable the girl is in her own skin. And it's not really a sexy bikini competition where the girls would do suggestive or sexy moves on stage.
That statement really resonated with me because it made me realize, what is the difference with walking on stage and having people cheer from you, from posting a picture online in a bikini and feeling good about your body and having tons of people see them and like them? And while I do really admire a few of the beauty pageants that are making the right step into change, I still do not agree with the need for height requirements and these impossible standards of beauty that are imposed in beauty pageants. Nobody actually knows what the standards of beauty are and who sets them. I read online that one of the possible reasons as to why they choose a tall beauty queen is so that that person can ideally get into modeling. If that's the case, times are changing. We have so many different kinds of models that comes in different sizes and different shapes. Maybe it's time that we change these standards for beauty pageants as well. I guess at the end of the day, we really just need to choose the things that we will let affect us, empower us, and mold us to be better people. I guess I'm still a little bit uncertain as to how I actually feel about beauty pageants. But that's not going to ever stop me from supporting another woman who's chasing her dreams. I will always support a woman who works hard and has a good meaning as to why they are doing a certain thing. I wanted to leave you with something that Rain said to me when I asked her what advice she had to give someone who wanted to join a beauty pageant. Looking back at everything, would you encourage women to join beauty pageants?
What I would suggest first is to really think about where you see yourself in your life. Do you see yourself in a career, having a family? Like, really determine what is your goal in this lifetime. And then think about, how will this pageant help me achieve that goal? Keep in mind to do your research, because every beauty pageant has a different mission, vision statement, and their own goals and who they are affiliated to. So check if their goals are in line with your goals. Because if they're not, then don't join. But if they are, then do consider.
I hope this episode helped you put things into perspective, as it really helped me. I want to hear your thoughts on this topic, so make sure to join the Bayhana community group. Let's have discussions, guys, because healthy discussions are welcome discussions. And this is honestly one of my most eye-opening episodes yet, so I'm very proud of this. Make sure to follow me on all my socials. I am Issaplease there. And of course, make sure to follow the queens who were so gracious to be in this video with me. Thank you for all the help, and don't forget to follow Bay TV as well. I'll catch you guys in the next episode. Wait. Bye!